Hello, and thank you for joining us on Market Insights. I am Lovina Emah. It's a lovely Thursday morning. Yes, despite yesterday's rainfall and the heavy traffic, it's still a beautiful day. So let's get right into perspective now. The Lagos state government, Lagos, as you know, is the commercial center of Nigeria, and it's also one of Africa's fastest growing cities. So now Lagos is a hub of activities with millions of people relying on its transportation network to get to work, to get to school and other destinations. But with this comes a lot of challenges such as congestion, accidents, security threats. Now, to solve these challenges, the Lagos state government plans to install cameras on all authorized public transportation vehicles operating in the state. Now, the chairman for Lamata, that's the bus services operation in Lagos, that's Dr. Olukemi Amure. He's the head of bus services at Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata. He made this announcement during the first meeting of the 2024 of this year, 2024, organized by Lamata. Now, drivers, operators, and all stakeholders were gathered at this meeting to discuss improvements on the BRT bus transportation system, that's bus rapid transit. So by installing closed-circuit television cameras across the city, the Lagos state government aims to enhance security, reduce crime, improve traffic management. Now, this initiative to install cameras in Lagos public transportation vehicles is part of efforts by the Lagos state government to be executed within 2 years. So this whole process will take some time, but within 2 years, yes, hopefully it will be completed. Now, there'll be CCTV cameras at bus stops, interchange stations. There will also be CCTV cameras at taxi parks, at also freight yards, and also public commercial vehicles. This was all detailed in the Lagos State Transport Policy. But a very important question to note now: will it work? Now let's picture this scenario. Imagine navigating Lagos traffic with a greater sense of security. CCTV cameras located at different points. Now this will help to stop criminal activities. This will also improve passenger safety on buses, and in addition, provide a valuable evidence in case of incidents, whether it's an accident, whether it's crime that took place in the bus. There is always a CCTV footage that recorded all this. So perhaps to be a win-win for both the operators and the Lagos state government. Additionally, there'll be real-time evidence, and traffic authorities can also always swing in instantly to get to the affected areas, whether it's traffic congestion, accidents, or a crime situation, to always ensure that there is smoother traffic flow in our city. So this morning, my guests and I will be discussing the impacts of CCTV installation on Lagos State's transportation network, the benefits, the challenges, and limitations of these technologies. So we're going to hear from experts and also policymakers, and the most important people, the commuters that are taking these commercial buses from one point of the city to another. I have two guests joining me virtually this morning. The first is Kingsley Owadara. He's the founder for Pan-Africa Center for AI Ethics. It's a non-profit organization, and it's focused on the ethical development, deployment, and use of artificial intelligence technologies in Africa. In addition, Kingsley led the AI Ethics Cluster for the Volunteer Experts Group in the development of Nigeria's first artificial intelligence policy. So welcome to Market Insights, Kingsley Owadara.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes. Okay, and my second guest is Oni Olalekan. He's a Public Affairs Analyst. So thank you for joining me this morning on Market Insights. Mute your microphone, Oni Olalekan.
All right. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
To you, and thank you for joining me on the program this morning. We are discussing the Lagos State's, the impact of the CCTV installation on Lagos State's transportation network. So first off, let me start with Oni Olalekan as a public affairs analyst now. This is a very new development in Lagos State's transportation system. And during my introduction, I stated that it was announced by the head of bus services, that is Dr. Olukemi Amure, the head of Lamata, and she said that it will be executed, the installation of CCTV cameras on, in Lagos State transportation system to be installed within 2 years. So now, still going further on this issue now, let's just discuss this. Now, what motivated the Lagos State government to implement the installation of CCTV cameras on our public transportation vehicles and at key transportation points, like at bus stops, taxi parks, for example?
Well, my understanding about the installation of these CCTVs on public transport, on public buses, and in public places like the bus stops, stations, and all of that is that, first of all, it's for security purposes and, to secure Lagosians and ensure that to a very, very large extent, Lagos, public places in Lagos is crime-free. Another understanding that I have is that these installations will be on authorized buses. If you look at it, for me, the meaning of authorized is that all these BRT buses that will fly, all these Lagos buses, LBSL buses that will fly on Lagos Road, applies the BRT corridor and all of that. Those are the authorized buses, and then the lag ride vehicles that we have, I believe those are the authorized vehicles or transportation vehicles that the Lamata is actually referring to. And like I said earlier, it's for majorly, to read the state of crime and also to have a first-hand information in case of any incidents of either accident, security threat, or any issue arising from security. So for me, if you ask me, it's a right step in the right direction. Don't forget that Lagos is trying to move into a smart city. The smart city project has been on for some years now, and I think this is one of the some of the things that the Lagos State wants to do to ensure that we have a smart city called Lagos. So for me, it's a right step in the right directions. Gone are the days after installing these CCTV cameras. It will be a thing of the past where you will have incidents, where you will have crimes in bus stops or inside BRT buses, so to speak, and then you won't be able to have a first-hand information. Gone are the days when these CCTV cameras will be installed.
Okay, thank you for that, Oni Olalekan. Okay, let me move to Kingsley Owadara. Now, as an AI expert and also a technology expert now, this is a new innovation in Lagos State, and we don't really know how people will react, but how will the installation of CCTV cameras improve the overall safety and security of Lagos State transportation system? I mean, this is something very new, even though it's going to be put at bus stops, taxi parks, also at specific interchange stations where people, if you want to move from using the bus system to the train system, there'll be CCTV cameras there also. So now, how will this how will this situation impact the people's safety and well-being? As a technology expert, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Okay, thank you very much for having me here. While it's a welcome innovation, installs TV cameras.
So Oni Olalekan, we can continue this discussion now on the impact of CCTV cameras on people now, because looking at the current situation, look at the way Lagos State operates right now. We have the BRT system, the buses, the blue buses. We also have the downfall buses, popularly the commercial buses, popularly called downfall buses. Now, do you think that putting these Oni Olalekan, can you hear me? Installing CCTV cameras on, for example, the BRT bus systems, do you think it's going to be an invasion of people's privacy? First of all, let's start with that.
Don't forget that when you once you leave your house or once you inside the BRT bus is also referred to, all these buses are also referred to public transportation. So what it means is that once you step into all these buses, or once you are in a park, or once you are in a bus stop, you are no more in a private place. It is called public space. And there is something also called public decorum. What it means is that there is a way and manner you are expected to behave in a public space. So I don't see it invading any privacy of Lagos residents. What it means is that when you are in the bus, when you are at the park, or when you are at any of these stations, there is a way you are expected to behave. There are things that you are not expected to do. So I don't see any infringement of, privacy or anything like invading any resident's privacy at all, because all these things will be installed in a public space.
Well said. Okay, now the cameras that are going to be used now, I'm quite sure this is going to be an additional cost on the Lagos state government. But in the event that it's going to be put in our commercial vehicles now, do you think the operators of these vehicles will say, oh, we have to increase our transportation fares because they might be charged a certain levy for having these cameras put in their buses?
Don't forget I said, the Lamata said that these cameras, first of all, will be installed on authorized vehicles. What it means is that the buses which these cameras will be installed on, they are Lagos State owned or controlled bus companies, which are the blue and white buses or the red buses. So for now, I don't think it will incur extra cost on the buses, which will also affect the cost of transportation in Lagos. And I feel by the time they will be extending it to all other, commercial vehicles across the state, which are privately owned, I don't think there should be an additional cost for them, to run all of these things. And so I don't foresee any reason why cost of transportation will be incurred, will be incurred or will be increased as we go on, because it is the state government who wants to secure, and also who wants to secure the state, who wants to secure the public space, and the financial burden should be on them and not on any private citizen.
Okay, well said. Okay, Kingsley Owadara, are you here with us now? Yes. Okay, I'm glad you've joined us now. Okay, so I asked now, the installation of these CCTV cameras now, will it improve the overall safety of the security system in Lagos and also on our public transportation system?
Okay, thank you very much. So, apologies for my internet glitch earlier on. What I want us to know is that while it is good to pursue the idea of smart cities. Smart cities basically refers to the interconnectivity of everything. So probably you're connecting the bus to the waste bin, from the waste bin to the traffic, from traffic to several things, right? So the idea is to have like an interconnectivity and to have like a smart state. But notwithstanding, we must know that there are privacy issues that are involved here. And while it is good that we can argue that the bus is a public place and it helps to improve security, it helps to improve basically security. We also need to know that there is something we call being watched. So it's as much as we are looking at the public good of the CCTV, we need to know that there is likelihood that the installation of the CCTVs would affect have an impact on the mental health of people if not properly used. So when you just imagine you are in a place and you know that something is watching you, all right? Or after you have done some things, you don't realize that you are actually being watched. That means that there's likelihood that one, either you are feeling unsafe, right, if it's negatively used, or you are looking for how to remove the eye that is watching you. So it's going to help to improve, the overall security of the states. But at the same time, we must ensure that these things are installed in the legal way. I mean, it's installed in the right way, such that it doesn't go negative, to what was initially intended for the boss.
Okay. What you have said, yes, this is a different opinion from what Oni Olalekan said. So I want to get your thoughts on this from hearing from what Kingsley Owadara said. This is for Oni Olalekan now. Yes, he mentioned the fact that people might feel very self-conscious, very unsafe, like they might actually feel a bit uneasy, knowing fully well that there is a camera watching them. So wouldn't this lead to vandalization of these equipments in the events that people keep noticing it in different parts of the city?
Well, I also think that the state government is also thinking in this direction of vandalization. If you read the press statements, that came out from the communique after that stakeholders meeting with Lamata drivers and staffs and all of that, they also talked about creating I think Lagos Infrastructure Police, or is it Lagos Police Infrastructure or something? What that means is,
yeah, are you here with us, Oni Olalekan? Okay, there seems to be a glitch in his network, but he'll join us shortly too. Okay, so let me continue the discussion with Kingsley Owadara. Yes, as Oni Olalekan said, yes, the Lagos state government wants to make Lagos a smart city, and we need all this technological equipment all over the city to ensure this is available. And we also need to eradicate crime in Lagos State. So also, this is our move towards making Lagos a very efficient, smart city. So as a technology expert now, with all these, with a development like CCTV cameras at specific places, and then people moving about, I'm quite sure you heard what Oni Olalekan said, is to reduce cases of crimes on public transportation vehicles, also at public bus stops. Apart from that, he also mentioned in cases where there is an accident, getting the emergency response vehicles to that place on time too, and creating any kind of more casualties in that kind of scenario, and also easing the flow of traffic. So he mentioned that also Dr. Olukemi Amure, the chairman for Lamata, also mentioned the benefits of this. So as a technology expert, wouldn't you say this is a very welcome development, as opposed to this whole CCTV installation being more of an invasion of people's private rights as they're moving about their businesses?
Yes. So I would say, from my own opinion, that it's a welcome idea because it helps to reduce crime, and it helps reduce crime that are known, especially rape, vandalization, robbery, theft, and all those things. It helps to reduce those things. But we need to know that while this is helping to reduce it's helping to reduce those kind of crime, there is some form of migration to another set of crimes that we might not put attention on. I feel that this particular crime are more severe because now it's now affecting the economy, affecting reputation, affecting the person of people in Lagos State. And that is what we call, data controllers of major importance. And these are people that really have access to data that impact the economy, impact political ideologies. And so the thing is that when these CCTV cameras are installed, what we are not sure of is that, does this footage include the voice and conversation of people while on transit? Because we know that if you are a frequent user of a public transit, you would know that a lot of things are being discussed, especially people that are anti-political party. So you see people discuss about football, discuss about political party, discuss about, even people discuss about their promiscuity in quotes. So the question is, are we sure that what is the provisions for, the for the residency of the data of this footage, and what is the provisions for the security of this data, and are we sure that the data that are gathered, that are generated, which in this case are highly sensitive data, because it involves conversation of people, conversations of monitoring more than it. So how are we sure that while gathering this footage, there is not something, so there is no what we call function creep, where the data is used beyond what is used for, beyond what it is generated for. For instance, probably being used to understand the conversation of people, being used to understand, even as political weapon in quotes. I mean, I don't know if that's the right word, but while it is good that we welcome that initiative, we should also ensure that there must be proper, clear, statement on the data minimization policy, that is the limitation of usage of such data. We must also know that what are the access control, who gain access to those data, and what are they being used for. And there should be transparency as to the limit of usage. Those are the things that I am really concerned about, because at this stage now, it now moves. Because look at it, for instance, while Nigeria brought in, the NIN, the National Identification Number, and we see that while it's a good idea, and the BVN, while you are linking all these numbers together and ensuring inclusion in Nigeria, we see that there are people that are now going, behind to steal those data and sell them in black markets. And these ones are now used to hunt people. There is now threats, cyberbullying, and introducing products that you're not even interested in, and other things to understand market insights and all those things, right? And this is when NIN was introduced, which was actually for a good cause. I also feel that if there is no proper policy in place and proper explanation of the usage of this data, this thing would also migrate to that, where this footage generated would now be used for training LLMs, especially for companies that want to build AI systems in Nigeria that don't know how to get inside. So now you're now getting public data that you could get easily, and those can even be sold in black market for very cheap things. And this will now help to even build more biased Nigeria. We are talking about bias, talking about discrimination. So that means that if you are generating footage of people commuting from Yanapaja to Oshodi, and you discover that these are frequent conversations of those people, it means that you can politically mark that place out, and give them some form of label, which means that they can be excluded from, from certain things they should enjoy. So to me, it's a welcome idea, but I feel that as it's eradicating some crime, there's likelihood that it's migrating to another crime that might even be beyond, might even be beyond the ministry, and migrating to other ministry and impacting the lives of, commoners in Lagos, commuting through that cheap means of commutation.
These are very serious issues that you have raised here. So let me hear from Oni Olalekan. Are you here with us now, Oni Olalekan? Can you unmute your microphone? Okay, can you hear me now, Oni Olalekan?
I can hear you clearly. Yes, I can.
Perfect. Okay. So Kingsley just stated the installation of CCTV cameras might be a good welcome development. Yes, to help in stopping crime. It will help first responders get to accident scenes at a faster rate. It will also help secure people as they move about their businesses. But he said a bigger crime will be created. Now, how is this data, this information that is gathered, how is it being protected? Because when people are being watched as they are moving about their businesses, taking buses, or moving about from the BRT bus system from the taxi parks, from a freight yard, there are cameras in all these places. Now, how is this information, this sensitive information, being protected? Because it could lead to a situation whereby people who don't have access to see Lagosians moving from one point to the other, getting that kind of, in the event that this data is hacked or compromised and then it's sold into the wrong hands, and then the people can get other people's information, people can listen to people's conversations. So these are very serious issues. So how can this online data be protected from the wrong hands, this data that is gotten from the CCTV cameras?
Well, let me first of all say that Mr. Kingsley's concerns are very, very genuine. And, it's a very, very good concern as far as I'm concerned. And let's also not forget that there's a law that talks about data protection law. So I also don't think that because the government is aware of this law, and I also don't think that it is, and under security, there's also something like data protection. So I also don't think that the government will be very naive or be very, very careless to allow data gotten from this CCTV installation to just go out like that. I doubt if the government will be careless to do that. Let's also not forget, he was talking about conversations in public places and all of that to gather data. Let's not forget that there's the internet. We have the X, we have the Facebook, we have the WhatsApp and all of that, where people also communicate and, share information, share their opinions, share how they feel and all of that. We also have majority of the discussions that will be going on in all these buses across the state also are available. All these conversations are available on the social media already. So gathering information, gathering all of these stuff, are also available already. But is the government using it against the people? Is the government using it, to say that we are not going to do this, we are going to do this and all of that? So, coming into this, having these CCTV installations does not mean this is the first time government will be having access to data. This is the first time government will be having access to information from the commoners and all of that. And I don't think so far this has not been used against the people. So let's also bear in mind that this data will surely be protected by the government. And I don't think the government will be ready to be very careless to allow this data to go out anyhow. There are security information being gotten by the government almost on a daily basis, from commoners, from the streets and all of that. There are security information being gotten by the police, by the Nigerian defense and all of that. This information doesn't just go out anyhow into people's hands. So I want to believe that when this CCTV installation comes up also, the data or whatever information they get from it will also be protected.
Yes, as Oni Olalekan has said, the government is not trying to use this to harass citizens or to monitor people's activities or conversations as they move about their businesses. Okay, so now let's step away from that for a bit now. The chairman of Lamata, Dr. Olukemi Amure, also talked about there's this automatic incident detection, AID. Now, this AID system is supposed to help with traffic management and efficiency to prevent congestion in different parts of Lagos now. So now, what are the expected benefits of having this AID system? This is in partnership with the CCTV cameras now, and also how will it enhance traffic management and efficiency in Lagos? So let me start from Oni Olalekan, then I'll move to Kingsley Owadara.
All right, just like the chairman has explained, the AID, will also, let's take, for example, what happened yesterday. It took residents, it took commuters, it took Lagos residents to go on social media to complain to the Lagos State government and the Ministry of Environment to say that there's flooding at the Yanogoro, Olopo Mefa, what the flooding cost and all of that, and the traffic that ensued from that flooding. What the AID needs to do is that the government does not need to wait for residents to complain either through social media or through whatever media channels that the government has provided for residents and all of that. I think one of the things that the AID will do for the government is that the AID will detect where there is traffic congestion where there is traffic incidences and all of that, and then reports. I think it's a real-time device, that reports wherever you have congestions or wherever you have accidents on the road within the metropolis, and wherever you have any incidents hindering free flow of traffic. That's what the AID will do. It's a real-time device. It's a real-time technology that informs the government, that informs whatever Ministry of Transportation or whatever ministry is in charge of, maybe LASMA or all of this, that informs on time what is happening on the road and how it can be curbed and the exact location. I think that's what the AID is coming to do.
Something that will ease traffic in Lagos. There won't be so much congestion, whether it's a rainy day or a sunny day. So I'm quite sure, Kingsley Owadara, do you agree with what Oni Olalekan has said in terms of having the automatic incident detection in partnership with the CCTV cameras operating along our streets and along different routes in Lagos State?
Yes, I believe that, even before the announcement of this, I'm aware that there are ways you could actually, help to control flood using the use of algorithms, most especially using what we call geospatial data. Geospatial data are usually data that is taken from satellites. So satellites very close to satellites in particular location, you could actually use it to predict and forecast the happening of events. You can even use it for to detect crime zones and also to help in the mitigation of crimes. So if the Lagos State government are working on helping to get that done, I think that is a step also closer to the smart city we are looking at, because the idea of smart city is that you're seeing how everything can control, everything can be interconnected. And aside from even detecting the crime, I believe that the availability of CCTV cameras around would also help to detect incidents that are not even within the provisions of what you should detect. But my own concern in all these things is that as much as it is good that we are approaching, we are trying to get a tech-driven state, we should also put things in place so that this technology would not get out of hand. Because the fact is that as much as the government is working towards getting things better, there are people that are thinking of ways to make it, to use it the other way. They are there. I mean, as much as you are devising, they're also building their technologies. They are dark users. But notwithstanding, I believe that it's actually a good thing and it's something that is really possible, just to ensure that it is being maintained the right way and ensure that the right people have access to it and are trained, importantly, trained on how to use it.
As a technology expert, Kingsley, now what steps would you take to protect this online data that is gotten from the CCTV cameras? What steps would you take to protect the data?
Okay, so
I said, as a technology expert, if you were in this in charge of monitoring or handling these services, now what steps would you take to protect the data that has been collected from the CCTV cameras?
Okay, so first of all, I would start with if I am in charge, of this, I would start with from the user first, right? Ensuring that users are really informed. They are informed as to the purpose of the collection and the usage of the collection. That builds trust. Because one good thing about technology and usage is building trust in the minds of, in the heart of the people that are using it. Because at the end of the day, Lagos State officials, there's likelihood that they might not use BRT buses, right? They have their cars, they have what's the means of commuting. So ensuring that the people that are using this particular means of transportation to commute are able to have gain their consent, right? And one of the ways you can get like an implied consent is by putting putting legibly on the bus that there are CCTV cameras here, and this is the purpose of the CCTV cameras, right? That's first on the part of the user. The next thing you consider is building appropriate security infrastructure for the cameras. And when I mean security infrastructure, I refer to both security of the hardwares, which are the places those CCTV cameras are installed, and also the data where the data of the CCTV camera resides. And that's what we call, limiting access control, ensuring that people that have access to this data are people that actually ought to have access to it. And there is strict security as to the access control. And that helps, to build like a very, very good data infrastructure. The other thing that we'll also look at is the question of training. Because if you don't train, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, yes.
So other things you would consider is training the people. Training both the user, because there are several technologies that have been built, that have been bought into the companies, bought into public places, and you discover that the first 2-3 months, the first month, people are enthusiastic about it. 2-3 months after that time, the technology becomes redundant. And even when it was spoiled, you don't know. In fact, there are plenty of CCTV cameras that are installed in public places that have never worked. You'll never know they are not working until there is time to request for footages of a crime scene. They tell you that, this thing is not working, right? So you ensure that there are training for all the officers, training for the bus drivers, training, very, very important. You train them on the usage and train them on tracking. And then other things you also want to consider, especially on the CCTV camera, is to have what we call data minimization. So to restrict what kind of data should we get and to what extent of data should we get. So that should be pure provisions on the data minimization, access control, and then that should be what we call, which is the last thing I would say, accessibility and oversight. So the question is, as much as we are putting all these things, what are the mechanisms put in place to act as an oversight over these cameras and to be sure that this thing really helps, it helps for the public good? Because at the end of the day, the reason why this particular technology is installed is for public good, to ensure that there is safety for all. So we are sure that what institution is in place to act as an oversight over these things and ensuring that it's actually help the people and maintenance, and few things that I would really consider as paramount to ensure that there is a smooth working of this technology.
Okay, thank you for these measures, Kingsley Owadara. Yes, that you've really explained how we can protect our online data. Okay, let me move to Oni Olalekan now. So these cameras now, are they going to be manufactured here in Nigeria, or we are importing them? I just want to hear from Oni Olalekan.
This question is a very direct question, as if I'm a government official. I'm actually not working with Lamata, but I think from my own findings or little understanding about how procurement of all these things works, I think they are going to be imported from abroad. I don't think we have a CCTV camera manufacturing company in Nigeria yet. I don't think so. Most likely, they are going to be imported. I also want to add that, currently, Lagos State has cameras in public places which monitors traffic, traffic offenders, and all of that. We have some of these cameras in some locations in Lagos State. I can remember we have one in Allen Junction and in different places across the state, some in Alausa, some on the island, and in different places across the state. And so far, these things have actually been working. You will know if they are working or not when it is time to renew your papers or vehicle papers in Lagos. It doesn't stop you, So by the time you want to do your paper renewal in Lagos State, we discovered that these cameras have sometimes, caught you and you are being booked already. So far, some of these cameras are working already across the state. And I think the infrastructure, they've been protected very well so far.
Okay. Now, so since these cameras are going to be imported, now, is there a trade relationship, Is there a bilateral trade relationship between the countries where they're being imported and Nigeria? Because I'm looking at how this will impact on the Lagos state economy. Is Oni Olalekan there with us?
Yes, I am, but it's a bit dark here. So for the economy, buying from abroad and for the economy of all of these things, for me, first of all, what Lagos State is considering, first of all, is the safety and security. And I also don't think that there is a way, I doubt if they are considering any economical advantage for now. But first of all, let's have Lagos, being secured. Let's have a safe city, and that's what I think Lagos State is considering at the moment.
Let me just move to Kingsley Owadara now. Looking at this whole scenario now, the integration of CC technology with other smart city initiatives that will hopefully in the next 2 years will be implemented in Lagos State now. So will it enhance the overall efficiency of Lagos State's transportation network? So let me start first of all start with Oni Olalekan, then I'll move to Kingsley Owadara.
Come again, please. I didn't get that, please. Sorry.
Integration of CCTV technology and other smart city initiatives that will be implemented hopefully within the next 2 years now. Within the next 2 years now, will this enhance the overall efficiency of Lagos State's transportation system?
Yes, but majorly, like I said earlier in my assessment, I said that while it will not just increase the transportation or the efficiency of transportation system in Lagos, it will also increase the security of lives and property of the state, even of the residents of Lagos State. Take a look at, you having a CCTV around. We've had cases of vandalization from people. We've had a whole lot of cases of vandalization. Instances abound everywhere. There was a time in Lagos State where you have all these iron clad fences in between the roads in Lagos State. For example, if you go to Ojota, we had this iron, so that people won't be able to cross the roads in Ojota. If you go
please let me hear from Kingsley Owadara now, please. I'm sorry, Oni Olalekan. Let me just hear from Kingsley Owadara now concerning making Lagos a more efficient, smart city now. So will this CCTV implementation, in the event when it's successfully installed and functioning, is it driving the goal towards making Lagos a very efficient, smart city? So that's to Kingsley Owadara.
Yes, I believe that availability of CCTV cameras that are properly channeled, would help Lagos to get closer to a smart city. Because I've traveled to several countries and I've seen how these things are really working, especially when it comes to road traffic decongestion, right? Often than not, some people use Google Map. How Google Map works is such that when the internet is turned on, the availability of internet in a particular place helps you to know whether the place is congested or not. But this time around, you are having real-time data, in the public place on the road. So I believe that when it is properly channeled, would really help Lagos to approach a smart city. But as a comment I want to make, right, on the previous question that you asked, Oni Olalekan, especially on procurement, I think public procurement of AI system is something that is an international conversation now, because we know that Global South, especially third world nations, do not have what it takes to build some technology. So there are likelihood that this technology are basically being procured and imported. And when technologies are procured and imported, there are several things that come with it, especially when the country procuring does not have the skills to vet what is being taken in. It means that there's likelihood that there might be data leakage in all those things. So I would really say this to the Lagos State government, that any company that is procured, that is supplying this tool, this technology, we should ensure that the procurement is done the right way and be sure that there is no data leakage there's what we call cross-border data transfer, when data flows from Nigeria to another place. So if you're getting it, if you're procuring this technology that do not have, adequate data policies or adequate data protection laws, there's likelihood that we'll be having, sensitive data flow from Nigeria, cross-border data flow, without the right, regulations to guide them and the right control. So in other words, I mean, in a nutshell, it's going to help, but if it is done in the right way and there are, it's been maintained, because it is one thing to get technology, it is another thing to maintain it, right? So yeah, that's my thought on that.
Kingsley Owadara, for sharing your thoughts on this, on the installation of CCTV cameras on Lagos State's transportation network. It's been a pleasure having you on Market Insights this morning. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this, how people's privacy will be affected and what the state government can do to protect this online data. It's been a pleasure having you on the program, and I look forward to having you again on Market Insights.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you. And please do have a wonderful day ahead of you.
Okay, I also want to thank Oni Olalekan for joining us this morning on Market Insights as we discuss the impact of CCTV installation on the Lagos State transportation network. It's been great discussing with these two gentlemen and also learning how people's privacy can be protected and how it will also ensure that crime is detected on time and traffic congestion is effectively managed so that we don't have to be suffering traffic every day. We're commuting from our homes to our businesses or to school or to wherever it is we're going to within the city. And this is bringing the goal of making Lagos a very efficient, smart city, but bringing us closer to that goal every day. So thank you so much to my guests. I do appreciate your inputs in this discussion. It's been a pleasure talking about these issues. I'm your host, Lovina Emah.